Hey everyone, got another short video for you back in Granada, Spain. Did another video yesterday and I'm happy to be getting back into things again. In this video I want to talk about accepting yourself, and this comes down to really about not trying to be somebody else. You know, there's so many male influencers out there who you may look up to, who you take a lot of advice from, but the biggest problem you're going to have, and the biggest way people set themselves up for failure, is trying to be that person rather than trying to be themselves, basically, and being the best version of themselves. So I had this issue for a long time. I'd switch from watching one person's videos for ages and I'd try and follow their way of life, and then I'd go, when I realised that wasn't working out for me, I'd go ahead and watch this other guy and take his advice. I'd try keto diets, I'd go back to high carb diets. I would do boxing for ages, and then I'd get back into weight training, calisthenics, so on, so on, so on. You need to find out what works for you and go from there. Become the best version of yourself from what works for you. There's no problem with taking advice from other people or watching all this content online, but overconsumption can be really damaging, and when you stop taking your own advice, that's when you set yourself up for failure, because you realise that you'll never be that person that you're trying to become. So I made a video on making decisions yesterday, and I'm going to do a little follow on from that, and it's going to be about just write down the answers to your questions. If you have any questions, just write them down in your journal and then answer them one by one, using that thing up there, because up there that has all the answers you are looking for. And then go ahead and ask the guys you've got around you, because they know you better. They know you better than any sort of mentor that lives halfway across the world. So get a good brotherhood around you. That's gonna be a big part of this video as well, is building your network, getting a brotherhood around you. And that's something I've been working on over the last week, is a little networking course I'm putting together to go on Udemy. I'm going to be putting that on my Instagram very soon, so keep an eye out for that. And I think that it's going to be really helpful for a lot of people, because it's something I've come a long way with myself. So keep an eye out for that. But one, make your own decisions. Write down your answers to your own questions, then get input in from your brotherhood, the people you surround yourself with. Make sure they're not toxic people, make sure they're of a certain level themselves, and then every now and then take advice from some YouTube video, a podcast. And all I'll say is, though, just make sure you journal on it before you implement anything, because, you know, here's an example. I've tried doing keto diets so many times throughout my life, and they're just not sustainable. Like, I'll try it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll definitely lose a bit of weight from it, but it's not something that you can do for the entirety of your life. And sometimes I forget that, and I go against my own advice, and I'll just keep doing the ketogenic diet just to sort of try something new, really, because I see it works for other people. And that's the worst thing you can do, is go against your own judgment. So what works for me is a variety of vegetables, fruit, tons and tons of meat. I said vegetables, but I rarely eat them. I throw them in probably 1 meal per day. And a lot of you know I'm a chef as well, so often I will treat myself to cooking a nice meal like a risotto or paella or something like that. And that's just how I sustain my diet. It's how I stay healthy, and that's just what works for me. If you're someone that sees food more as fuel, which is, you know, fair enough, something like the ketogenic diet might work a lot more for you. So it's about experimenting in this game, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and eventually you'll get to a point where you know your body better than anybody else, and you don't need to watch these videos, these podcasts online. You will be the person actually making that content to give advice to other young men. So that's a bit of a follow-on from yesterday, I know, but I think there's a few more points in there you might find helpful. Any questions, boys? I'm going to leave my Instagram in the description. My DMs are always open, so feel free to ask me any advice. Give me any feedback. Please let me know, boys. And what do you think of the new videos? I think it's just great just recording content out here in the sun when I'm traveling and stuff, and I really enjoy it. It doesn't feel like a chore to me. So I'll catch you boys in tomorrow's video, hopefully.